It has now been a month since campaigners filed dozens of proposals to recall lawmakers from both the ruling and opposition parties. And checks on that first round of the recall process are now coming in. The parties are fighting to keep proposals against their legislators from making it to the final voting stage. Now, our reporter Tiffany Wong has been following the recall drama, and she joins us live from our newsroom here in Taipei. Tiffany, what's the progress on the recall campaign so far?
Well, Eric, things are ramping up in this massive slew of recall campaigns here in Taiwan. 19 of the proposals have passed that 1% threshold of signatures from constituents in the voting district to move on to the next stage. And all of those campaigns are against opposition lawmakers from the Kuomintang. That means that in the second stage, the campaigners will need to collect the signatures of 10% of voters in the electoral district in order to pass that on to the very final voting stage. And they're going to have 60 days to collect those signatures before they're once again passed on to the Central Election Commission for verification. Now, the CEC also released that 9 of the petitions, all against DPP, main Democratic Progressive Party lawmakers, have not passed that 1% threshold in the first stage. However, they will be given 10 days to remedy those signatures. And we're still waiting to hear about the results of about 24 more campaigns that are still having their signatures verified by the CEC, and those should come out later this week.
Both the KMT and the DPP, they held press conferences earlier today about these recalls. What are the parties saying?
Well, the KMT is saying that some of the campaigns against their lawmakers need to have more financial transparency. They say that some of them have been using illegal methods to pay their volunteers. Now, in Taiwan, for recall campaigns that are established by private individuals, they're not able to accept any funding, and those would be considered political donations. Political donations can only be accepted by political parties or, political candidates themselves. So in this case, they wouldn't be eligible. And the KMT is accusing some of the campaigns of using under-the-table methods to circumvent these funding restrictions.
他那边说什么呢？现场以现金交由有志公正的志工，这样才能保护团队不被攻击。白话文就是，你把现金交给志工，才能够违法的把现金交给罢免团体。
Meanwhile, the Democratic Progressive Party is accusing campaigns against their lawmakers of using signature fraud, especially using something called ghost signatures, which is the use of deceased people's names on their petitions. And they say that the KMT may be responsible for this. They say that the KMT could have used voter registration records to add names to petition lists that, people that never showed up to actually sign them.
只有一种可能，就是国民党利用他们手上掌握的名册，大规模的进行所谓不实联署、虚假联署、抄袭名册的联署。
The DPP also said that some of the named campaign organizers later denied any involvement in those campaigns, so it's also unclear how their names got onto those campaigns and those petitions. And the DPP says that they are ready to file lawsuits against any individual or party for any signature fraud or voter fraud.